Okay, so now it's time to install the light bar that I got on eBay. After I centered it, I put in the mounts and inserted a grommet to put the wiring through. I made sure to drill my mount holes through this stiffener, which the roof mounts onto. And there you can see the mounting bolts. Okay, now it's time to run the wire from my light bar down to where I'm going to put the relay and the fuse, the bus bar. So I'm going to use these male-female connectors. That way, if something was to happen to my light bar, all I got to do is disconnect this. The wiring's all in place, and it's just plug and play. Well, I'm trying to save money, use stuff I already have. I'm out of red 14 gauge wire, so I'm going to use this white and black wire to do my wiring. White will be the positive, black of course the ground. And what I like to do with these crimping connectors, I like to, especially with this thinner wire, thinner gauge wire on the LED light, I fold it over and double it up. Like I said before, if something happens with the light bar, or I need a new one, the wiring will be in place, and all I'll have to do is unplug and play. So we're going to put our heat shrink on, and this time we'll use a heat gun. Okay, so this is how I'm going to run my wiring. It's going to go on the inside of this light bar. And there's an existing gap here, which takes it right under the hood and to wherever I'm going to mount my relay. And this wire here is going to get wrapped, and that all is going to get zip tied to this light bar. And here we have our relay and the inline fuse. So we'll get those things hooked up. Okay, now I have my switch wired up. I'll include a photo below what all these are, but basically the top two are ground. This will be the power to the accessory, and this will be to the switch power. And that way that lighted switch will only come on when the key is on. I'll also put a link down below in the description box to a pretty good video. I think the guy does a better job than I could do on explaining how to wire this switch. And because I'm using the same color wire, I just put this piece of painter's tape on here to denote which is actually going to go to the accessory part that goes to the from the relay to the lights. And here's our wiring from the switch. So I have it zip tied here. I'm going to leave this one loose until I get everything hooked up, make sure everything's okay, and then we'll tighten it. Here's my relay for the front light bar, and this is the fuse I put in. I have a 20 amp fuse, and I just zip tied this to that location there. Okay, I mounted a second light. This is it's all hooked up and working, so I'm going to clean up the installation, get everything tightened down. I'm not going to show you that. Running the wiring down here, this will get cleaned up. Down along the drivetrain again. I had an old switch. The light doesn't work on this. I didn't use a relay for this because it's LED, it's low draw. I do have an inline fuse, and it's very simple. Okay, I have all the wiring issues resolved. I added this single LED floodlight as a backup light and a work light. So I have that routed down along the roll cage, down along with the rest of the wiring that goes underneath the hood. I had an old rocker switch, but the light in it doesn't work, but for the work light, so that's not a biggie. That saves about $18 because we have our LED light bar. Got everything tightened up. I cleaned up the wiring. So we'll give it a test later tonight. Kind of hard to see it now. All right, now I'm installing this USB port, so I had to cut this out. And I have this wire here. And I just have an inline fuse. All right, let's see if we have power to the USB. Let's turn our key on. We have power. We're going to do a light test. So this is just the headlights. And that's with the lights. Turn the headlights off. Great. I could see everything in the back with the work light, and I could see backing up. All right, I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching.